Many people ask us, what is the single biggest lesson we have learnt as part of our huge project to save Château de Purnon? Whilst our journey has taught us patience and optimism, perhaps the most practical skill has been learning to distinguish between those tasks we can tackle ourselves and the projects that are best left to artisans. This week at Château de Purnon, whilst our teams make enormous progress on the chateau's stone facades, the roof and carpentry, we get to work laying the foundations for a series of projects that will occupy Tim and I over the coming months. The first step is careful planning. With so much to do, projects must be tackled in the correct order. Come with us as we prepare our work program for the upcoming months.
So this is the diagnostic study which our heritage architect has prepared for the commencement of the restoration of the interior of the chateau. And it's really quite an impressive document. It's got all of the information about the heritage elements of the chateau that need to be preserved, all of the historic information from the archives about how the different rooms were furnished, and most usefully it's got this document here which divides the interior restoration into a series of phases, and it makes it clear with each phase which parts of the project are our responsibility and we can do ourselves, which parts need to be done by the professionals, and which elements we can do in collaboration with our artisan workers.
Yeah, and so some of it has already started. So the electricity and plumbing plan has already started to be implemented on the eastern wing, and that's part of the restoration of those en-suites and the shower and getting electricity up to the first floor. And then there's some things that we'd like to get a wriggle on for the Journée du Patrimoine, so that when we open for the public for the weekend, the entrance, there's some things in the entrance that I think we need to address.
Yeah.
And then also there's a project that I think we should look at here on the ground floor, which is based around our safety over the coming winter months.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of things up on the first floor and the second floor, which are sort of underway that we need to have a look at where we're up to and how we can keep progressing them.
Okay. So with that in mind, this will really give us a great sense over the next maybe 6 months or so as to what the priorities are and what we should be working on. So I think that's fantastic. Shall we go and have a look and start making a plan?
Let's do it, babe.
Okay.
So here in the entrance, we stripped 2 panels of the lead paint, and our plan is to gradually keep working on this space until we get rid of all the blue lead paint in here. And I think the time might have come to choose another section to work on, so that for the Journée du Patrimoine, the area is a little bit more presentable than it is now.
Okay. So which section would we like to have?
I was thinking it might be nice to finish this archway.
Okay. Okay, yeah, all right, so it's a little bit finicky,
yes.
But we have to do it at some stage, and it is really the first thing that people notice as they walk in.
Yeah, and it's sort of...
Yeah, it'll take
neaten this up a bit, yeah.
Okay.
And I would just go, for the moment, just to the top of the archway. So if we just do the archway where the paint is peeling terribly and where we've done the sample patches, and so then it just really neatens up the entrance to the stairs. What, you're going to do the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Well, I just think
you're the one doing it.
Well, I think if we put the scaffolding up, then I feel like in for a penny, in for a pound. Let's do the whole thing, including the panel above the archway, and let's see if we can get it done.
Okay.
Okay, very good.
All right. Good luck. That was hard work.
Yeah, it's always hard work getting the lead paint off, but it's made a lot easier by the product that we use, which is called Smart Strip, and it enables us to remove the lead paint in a non-toxic way by turning it into a paste, which means we don't have to wear masks. We just really have to wear gloves and eye protection, but we wear these suits really just to protect our clothes because it's quite a messy process.
Yeah. And after we have allowed the surface to dry, we'll probably do some touch-ups because you can see that there's areas where we need to put the product on again, which is completely normal. And then after we've done that and it dries, we need to treat it with a pH neutralizer because the surface is very pH high after we've applied the Smart Strip. But very excitingly, we made another discovery.
Always at Purnon, when we set out on a task, we seem to find something new, and this project was no exception. We didn't know that the passageway up the staircase was flanked by this oak frame. We discovered that as we took off the 19th century paint. So that was a really interesting discovery.
It's really quite beautiful, isn't it? And nobody loves the discovery here at Purnon as much as us, except our architect. And so we can't wait to show that to him actually and see what insights he has to it as well.
Yeah, no, but well done. And let's get on with the next project.
Or have a rest.
So what has to be done in here?
So this is our salon d'hiver, our winter salon, which we don't use at all during the summer months. But in winter, this is where we spend a lot of our time. And I'm concerned that the condition of the paintwork in the ceiling has deteriorated dramatically. And this is lead paint and it's chipping, and I worry about our safety. So I would really love if before winter we can actually strip the lead paint off the ceiling and create a safe space for us to be during the winter months.
Okay, yeah, well certainly the fluctuating temperatures have really accelerated the deterioration of the paint in recent months, and I think the sooner we do it, the better.
Yeah.
And there is this sort of window between now and the onset of the cold months at the end of the year, and so this is definitely a project we can do now. We'll need to move all the furniture out.
Yes.
And then I think if we put the scaffolding up, we can sort of do it in 2 phases, perhaps.
I think that's a good idea, tackling in 2 phases.
So this is going to be quite a project. This will be our winter snug.
And we like it because it's really small and it's already got heating in it as well, so it will be a really comfortable place to retreat to in the cold winter months.
So where are we up to? The bookcases are done and just waiting to be slotted into place.
Yep, so the power's okay.
So what's got to be done with these walls?
Some of the plastering needs to be done and then sanded, and then we're going to paint those walls. The ceiling, the same. We'll have to just do the repairs and then undercoat it and then paint it. And then this wall here is going to be the wallpaper.
Yep.
So to wallpaper it, the same, we just need it to be a flat surface essentially. So it's actually not looking too bad, and then we'll put the skirting boards up after the wallpaper's gone down.
And have you chosen the wallpaper for that wall?
Yes.
And have we ordered it?
Yes.
And it's here?
Yes,
okay.
So the paint is already here, the wallpaper's already here.
So we don't really need any materials.
No.
It's just a question of getting on with the work.
Done.
Based on what we said downstairs, I think we should try and do this before we do the lead paint stripping in the salon d'hiver.
Yeah, because some of the furniture is destined to come up here. Okay.
So that becomes potentially, depending on what else we find, an early October.
Yeah.
Early October, or
now.
Or now, yeah.
corridor's become a bit of a dumping ground, hasn't it?
So is it our expectation that these two are both usable?
Yes.
Okay, so I think the best thing is for these to go down into the sous-sol with the other, into the basement with the other ones.
Yeah. So the other thing are doors. So this door, that's the shower door. I've got to paint that, so that can go into the atelier, and I'll paint it. This is the new laundry door. It's not a new door, it's the door for the new laundry.
Okay, the door between the corridor and the laundry. Yep.
So
cool.
that.
So there's no reason why. Is there any reason why we can't paint that?
Yeah.
Start prepping it and painting it?
Yeah. And this one, I want to put it number 5. See, that's number 10. That's 8.
No, it's this door. Okay, so that's 3 doors that all need to be done. Yeah, this one's still in a frame too.
What did we mark it? That's the ensuite. Okay. So that one I can paint, or we can start working on painting now.
Okay.
How did we end up with so many doors?
5, 6, there are 7 doors, yeah.
And that one's
got a frame.
Mystery. That one must be easy to work out.
I wonder if it's one of the...
Wait, I know where it is. It's from in between the rooms behind that bedroom. You know how the back room is split into 2 and there was a door?
Ah, yes, that's right.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
Where there was the bath on one side and the vanity on the other.
The beds.
Okay, the beds. These are those Empire beds.
Yeah.
I think we need to create one room where all the bits go, because otherwise we'll be moving bits in and out of rooms.
Well, so let's create a storage room on the 2nd floor.
Yep.
We can go up there and choose a room.
Yep, okay. So I'm thinking maybe this room for storing 3 beds and then some other things.
Yeah.
No armoire.
Things that are coming up to the 2nd floor to be used eventually on the 2nd floor.
Yeah, so I'll clear this out, sweep it up.
Yeah, and just the walls are really dirty, so you could just give them all a big clean.
The door's sort of functional so that it can be closed off, and now we know that the dome above us is watertight, so not a drop of water should ever get in here again.
Perfect. Storage room.
Okay, storage room.
Edward's room.
So what has to be done here? We've got...
So I've still got to finish painting the boiserie at the bottom, the skirting boards. I've got to paint the central part above the fireplace. And then most importantly, I've got to start preparing the wooden frames to put around the wallpaper panels. And this panel here, we're waiting for the electrician because he needs to get in behind the Hessian backing to get some power through.
And is that kind of the next thing he's going to do?
Yeah, he's run the power along the corridor, so it's here. He just needs to get it into here.
Okay. So then the question is what will you be doing, and what do you need my help with in this room?
I think I can do everything in here on my own. Okay. I just need it's time. Yeah.
Okay. So this is Edward's room, and this is you doing this.
Yeah.
So maybe while you're doing this, I'll be working in the snug.
Okay. Yeah. Babe, you've made so many coasters.
There's 111 there, another just over 10 there. We need 140 for our...
Journée du patrimoine.
For the Journée du patrimoine, and also for our existing
orders. Amazing. That's so good. another door. Oh, that
That's
door.
for the hot water room. It's the hot water room.
Okay, so I should paint that as well.
Yep, okay, I'll put that in the atelier.
That one needs a big sand, so if you want to sand.
I'm happy to set to work on that.
Okay, the shower.
So what has to be done here? The door has to be put back on.
Yep, so I've got to paint it first, and we've got to
Paint the frame.
paint the frame. Yep. Then the electrician still has to fix the power switches. That's the LED strip for the niche. I need to paint the ceiling and put the cornices on the ceiling. That's really the last thing. That's the only thing that's outstanding from my side is the ceiling and the door.
Okay, cool.
I think what we should do is start the process of restoring the panels, the wallpaper panels that were taken down in this room, the ones that are water stained.
Yep.
So I think it's something to put on the list for Frederick.
Frederick, okay.
Wait, let me create a Frederick list.
And if we had that done, if they were done, there would be nothing else stopping us progressing stuff in this room, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's a big task.
In theory, it's actually better to do the room with the panels down. So we should progress the room before the panels go back up, but I think the restoration of the panels should start now.
Okay. So it's going to be our laundry.
Yep.
And it's going to be quite a project, although it's very well advanced with all the electrical and water connections.
Yeah.
Now the floor's been done. So it's really just a question of working out what cabinetry we would want in here, how we want the room laid out, and then the other sort of finishes, you know, doing the ceilings, painting where that's required.
Replastering, it's in pretty bad condition actually. So I think The existing laundry needs to move as a priority because the water downpipe that sits on the outside of the chateau needs to be removed.
Yep.
So the stonemasons would be grateful if we could sort of do that as soon as possible. So I think we should try and, as a first thing, try and get the cabinetry designed and made.
Okay.
So this room, I've had a chat to the electrician and he's got the cables here to put 2 power boards in, or power sockets on either side of the bed.
Yeah.
And he wants to channel the cables into the plaster rather than taking off the skirting board, because these are big original skirting boards.
Yeah.
And so we just need to lift the wallpaper up.
Yeah.
To allow him to channel in.
Yeah, okay, well, I mean, this is 20th century wallpaper,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter at all slightly easing it off the wall.
It's already come off quite a lot
down
anyway.
Here, it's already come off down here too.
Yeah.
So what are they? What are those?
That's for the heater.
Ah, okay. Okay, so our main goal with this room doesn't need to be restored. It's for a later phase of works,
Yeah.
just so long as it's safe. Okay. So where are we at with this ensuite bathroom?
So all the electricity and plumbing has now gone in. The shower tray has arrived and I've ordered all the tapware. I still need to order the toilet and a heated towel rail. But basically the floor needs to go back down. So that's our local stonemasons, and they're putting down the original 18th century Tomet floor.
Yep.
They need to also render all the walls, and I think they're planned to do that in the next couple of days. And then once they've done that, the room can be tiled and we'll progress further. So,
okay. So there's really not much more for us to do at the moment. The next steps are for our artisans.
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's been a really productive week, and one of the things I find with our project here is it's such a huge project with so many different elements to it. It really is quite easy sometimes to feel completely overwhelmed. And so by breaking the projects up into these smaller tasks and then just working through them one at a time, it really does take some of the pressure off and gives you this feeling of progress when all around you is sometimes this sense of chaos and this sense that we're just never going to get finished.
Yeah, and I think also after 4 years, it's really exciting to be progressing some of the interior restoration works, and for two reasons actually. First is that the interiors hold so many treasures, so many discoveries, so many exciting projects, but also massively increases our quality of life. And we've been living in pretty difficult conditions for the last 4 years, pretty uncomfortable, and so it helps the morale as well.
Well, it does, and winter is coming, as they say, and we really will appreciate some of those creature comforts when the colder months arrive. So it's been a good week, and we can't wait to share further progress over the months ahead as we move on with some of the projects that we're working on.
Yep, absolutely. So remember, as always, if you would like to follow the restoration of Château de Purnon more closely, we post frequent updates on Instagram. We post an exclusive weekly video over on Patreon, where this week Tim takes you on a tour of Purnon's incredible 18th century floor coverings.
And Flick gets herself into a bloody mess. Otherwise, just hit the subscribe button and we'll keep you up to date.